It's been a daunting physical stretch. I think that, we're a fairly beat up football team, but we're going to do everything we can to make sure that we have the best we can out there on Saturday at 2 o'clock. Just wanted to kind of talk briefly about each one of the seniors and just what they've meant to me personally. Daniel Arias, starting with him. Daniel, incredible athletic ability, but what I think speaks so much to who his character is. He's banged up. He had double turf toe at one point. And what he does is go out there and just put on an absolute clinic in the punt and punt return units. And I think that's good. That in of itself is going to make him a lot of money. Robert Barnes, this is a guy that to me is really embraced, the culture of joy. He wears a smile on his face. He's been battling. His career's seen a lot. Derek Bedell. Just one of my favorite sarcastic dudes on this team. Got a tremendous level of sarcasm, and also, just even after what happened last game, I talked to him today, and he's just excited to get out there for one more opportunity. Tommy Brown goes without saying, international superstar, certainly leader of the free market with regards to the NIL space. Just overall, just one of my favorite people, incredibly intelligent. Going to do really big things in his life. Josh Chandler-Samito, whether he's essentially already done a senior day, but man, Josh he's the model of what it's supposed to look like in terms of preparation, take care of his body. I think there's a lot of young players on this roster that learned a lot about what a pro looks like from watching Josh Chandler-Samito. Frank Phillip, number 94 out there, sleek and athletic, looked absolutely amazing on his one downfield pass route. Frank's been through a lot as well. And I think, for him, I think last year was a really tough year, mentally and where he was at in the game and, the game of football. I think this year, as hard as it's been, has been really rewarding for him. And he's going to have a big role in this game plan. Alex Fontenot, I just love that it's a testament to him. It's never too late to grow. I think his body of work over the course of these last few weeks just continues to get better and better. Always has a smile on his face, always ready to work. Justin Jackson, I think he revolutionized the indoor sunglasses look. He's kind of got that TMZ, the paparazzi's coming his direction. Just want to see him just finish his career out the right way. Jalen Jackson, this guy, I don't know, what exactly the future holds, but man, I'd love to hire this guy as a coach someday. Unbelievable attitude, has a tremendous role on special teams, never once has complained, just continues to work and bring energy and bring life. He's a life giver. Terrence Lang, T. Lang, from the reports I've heard, from the time he got here to CU to where he's at now, is just a testament of trial under fire and then growth by going through adversity. And I think he's done some things this year that have gotten a lot of people's attention at the next level. So I'm excited for his football future. Isaiah Lewis, just loves his teammates, loves this program. Even had a chance to go home for Thanksgiving and just wanted to have a chance to be around his teammates for one more week. Shows just the character he has. We missed him sorely, to say the least, as a football player, as a leader on the field, but he's led well off the field. Anthony Lyle, great scholarship addition this year. Has been a special teams ace for us. Just an awesome young man. And takes a lot of pride in doing his work here in the state that he grew up in. Chance Main has eligibility left, but Chance he's gone through a lot even this year, and for him to be fighting through a lot what he's been through, it's a testament to just how tough he is and just the character that Chance Main has. Jamar Montgomery. Saved his best football for the last, 4 or 5 games. I've always seen just something in this dude, just both as a person and as a player. I'm really excited about his future in football and life, and just a tremendous athlete. Quinn Perry, I think he's in this thing for his teammates. He loves being around the guys. He loves his teammates. Even today with some of the stuff we did was pretty fun. We had a penalty kick shootout at the end of practice, and he had his cell phone out. he just excited about what's going on. Brady Russell, to me, he is what CU's all about. Born and bred with the golden, black and gold in his DNA, and he's been fighting to the end, and he's gonna make a lot of money playing this game. I think he's put on tape this year, how resilient he is, and just so thoughtful. Just has so much to him. RJ Sneed, RJ is a true gentleman. He was raised the right way. He's caring about his teammates. He just shows so much maturity, and it's been fun to watch his development, his growth. It's never too late. Jalen Stryker, I really like Strike a lot. A guy that has a big smile, infectious personality. And from where he was at Game 4 to where he's at now as a football player is just a testament to him. Guy Thomas, it's hard to beat him. Just his personality, his care, the energy he brings. I still talk to him to this day when I was at Minnesota game planning for CU a year and a half ago or so, a year and a couple months. Everybody's talking about Carson Wells and Nate Lamb, and I was scared to death of Guy Thomas. Just his length, his athleticism. He's a real dude. And then Mac Willis, a.k.a. Mac Daddy. We have a group of special teams players that have just done an unbelievable job, called the Dog Squad, and he's really the dog father of this crew. So love Mac, and this group of seniors means a lot. They've gone through a lot. They need to be honored the right way, by us as a coaching staff, by us as a fan base, by us as a CU family. And this is the fact that these guys have gone through what they've gone through, and they're here to walk out and see their families. It's gonna be an emotional day, and deservedly so. So looking forward to playing a really good Utah team. I told some of the players that their head coach has been there since 1994. And asked them what they were doing in 1994. None of them were alive. So, Tommy, were you alive in 1994? Yeah, I know you're up there, but not quite that much. But, obviously Utah's been the model of continuity. My dad was the offensive coordinator about 10 years or so, I guess about 8, 9, 10 years into that stint of Kyle Whittingham being the defensive coordinator, D-line coach, and then head coach. It's a testament of what building a program and sustaining a program looks like. They're physical, they're violent, they've cornered the market in the Pac-12 of physicality, and we are excited for that challenge. So I'll open up for questions.
Mike, a few of those guys, Jalen Stryker, Tommy, and Frank Phillip, could theoretically come back and play more. Were there some conversations that took place there with those guys?
We just gave everybody the opportunity, just with where they're at, that's, in their, if graduated or, close to the, the fourth year, fifth year, however you look at it, an opportunity to do this. And, frankly, I didn't ask any questions, because, that's something that I want them to be able to be honored in that manner with their families and create a special moment. There's all kinds of different scenarios that obviously they're playing out in their own minds, and it's really not worth trying to pin them down on exactly what their intentions are. I just want them to have that opportunity.
Mike, you just mentioned Coach Whittingham and kind of how long he's been there and what he's done for that program. Do you think it's possible at all for a coach to do that in this day and age of college football, just being there for 15 years as a head coach and longer as an assistant, just kind of building the program the right way from the ground up?
I think it's challenging, because everybody wants to win in the first year of your head coaching career. And it used to be like when my dad was in this industry, and frankly 10 years ago, it was 4 or 5 years. But we all know every single person on planet Earth has every answer on Twitter. And everybody's right too. It's 100% accurate. All the information's accurate. It always is, and it always will be. But in that space that we've created, it's an instant gratification culture we live in. If given opportunities to work through those types of challenges, maybe it's possible. I think it's very possible. But the powers that be, whether that be your fan base, whether it be your donor base, whether it be your administration, and frankly, there's a coaching side of it too. Coaches always leave for greener pastures too. So it's a two-way street. It's not just a one-way street. So I think that it's hard to find. That's what I'm in search of. I'll be honest. For me, my family, I got a daughter that's turning 13 here in about a month, and I think this, she's moved 9 times, so and not small ones. And not little moves. So, I'm looking for, like me personally, I'm looking for that Kyle Whittingham experience. And it's hard. You want to do it the right way. You want to, no matter what, no matter what mission that you're called to, or no matter what assignments before you, you want to lay yourself fully, like completely into it. Like just lean into that assignment full, like with everything you got. But there are a lot of things that you can't control, so what you have to control is what is controllable. And that's, to me, how you bring, your effort, your attitude, your enthusiasm, your creativity to each day that you are assigned with that mission.
Hi, Coach. We talking a lot this week of just the uncertainty of your future and the coaching staff's future, but what legacy or mark do you think you and this group of coaches have left on this program?
Yeah, for me, it's only about a 10-month legacy. So it's hard to define a legacy in a short period of time thus far. But what I'd say is that I think the legacy that I hope that I'm leaving and that our staff is leaving is that we're genuine, we're real. We're in it for them, not us. And that we did everything we could to push this program in the right direction. But more importantly than that we cared for these players. And I think that's such an overused thing for coaches, And I think what I've been challenging myself this year in particular is to actually do that and not talk about it. And that's the legacy that I hope I leave is that the players that I have had an opportunity to meet and interact with know that there are people in college football that truly do care for them, because I think that's of the utmost importance for where this program is and where this program needs to go.
Hey, Coach, you stole my question. Great question, by the way. I guess great minds think alike. But I guess to follow up on that, if it's you or someone coming in next, what advice would you give them about this program and what you saw in those 10 months? What would you say to them?
That's a hard one, because I think there's so many different situations and factors and frankly there's I would say this. I think I've been very candid, when given the platform to speak publicly about a lot of that stuff. So without being arrogant, I'd say watch all the press conferences, just because, I think I've talked about what I believe are true, and if you guys want, I can recap all those in the next hour and 14 minutes. But at the end of the day, I think that connecting with the roster is way more important than anything else right now. That's it.
Mike, just curious. You said it's only been 10 months for you here with this program in the state of Colorado. What is that mark left on you personally? What have you kind of learned about yourself through all that you've gone through, and just kind of what is going to be your main takeaway of this last 10 months here?
I think with my journey taking me, from I'm a West Coast guy. I'm a Pac-12, Mountain West type of guy. It's where I played. It's funny, but my journey's taken me to the Midwest, to Notre Dame, into Minnesota, and then to the South in Western Kentucky, East Coast at Yale. So I've kind of been in all these different areas, and I think the geographical fit is so important, not just as a head coach, but also as an assistant coach, just the ties that you have in recruiting. And then also the majority of your roster, not everybody, but a majority, the heart of your roster is going to be kind of from your actual physical geographical footprint of where your campus is. So that's something that being at Colorado, I feel like I can truly be myself. And I think that's been a positive for me, and just realizing that I've had tremendous experiences getting to know other parts of the country, but there are times when you get up and you speak at a press conference in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and everybody's like, what's this Californian talking about? And that's real. I think Tommy could attest to that, living in Alabama for 4 years, So I think for me, it's just I want to continue to work at places like Colorado that fit who I am and who my core values are and where I'm from and where my recruiting connections are. And the other thing too is just I think this area, Boulder, we live out in Weld County, the state of Colorado. This is like the best. Truly for me, this is my favorite place I've lived. Like Boise was like way up there for a long time. That's where I played and all that. Then I was a coordinator there. But, what I love about here is that you could drive like an hour and a half any which direction. Like even from my house, I can get to so many different parts of the state. And there's just like, it's almost limitless the amount of things you can do with your free time, which we don't have much of. But when we do have it, it's awesome that you don't have to get on a flight, to go somewhere. Like, the old staycation in Colorado is better than anywhere else I've lived, that's for sure.
Hey, Coach, obviously Tommy has his NIL deal, but we saw Van Wells and Jordan Tyson get Bust for Life NIL deals. Do you think the momentum in that department is carrying through enough to carry this team through next season and beyond? Yeah,
I mean, I think speaking about it, putting it out there, talking about the importance of it, I think it's helped. I think the awareness of it. What I still think is going on in certain places, and I won't say, just here, because I've spoken to a lot of peers. There's certain places that are like, well, the portal stinks, or the NIL stuff stinks. Cool, right? Then fall behind further. Like if that's, and I'm talking about everybody, because it's not going away anytime soon. The other thing too is that it's not solely like fan-driven, donor-driven. There's a lot of creativity that goes into that world. That's not just like, hey, put out a collective and just wait for people to donate money. There's a lot that happens with marketing. There's a lot that happens with relationships. And I think what I'm learning in this situation here, if it's not inherently just built for you, the head coach has got to have a lot of impact on getting it right. Now, obviously, you can't legally set up the NIL deals, but you can build those relationships with various entities, or in your community, in your state, and I think that's where the programs that don't just have it just pouring in, like what I've heard, certain schools are raising $25 million a year for one recruiting class and doing it again the next year. So that's not necessarily happening everywhere, obviously. It's a lot of money. But, I think that you have to be proactive with it. It certainly is not just going to naturally happen. And I think that obviously that creates being in a competitive space.
Mike, a couple quick questions. First off, personnel. We saw JT get hurt the other day. How is he for this week?
He's good. He practiced today. He's good to go.
And the other thing is just, as you guys come into this situation, you've talked about culture of joy, things like that, but in your guys' situation, this is the last game. You got senior day. You want it to be a celebratory day. Do you emphasize a lot of the fun and
yeah,
and trying to make sure that this is a fun game, no matter what the scoreboard looks like? Make
yeah,
it a fun game.
And to me, like, it's funny. A couple years ago, I was at an AFCA coaches convention, and I think it was Bill O'Brien. He was the head coach at Penn State at the time, and he talked about that. Especially with this upcoming generation. This was like 8-10 years ago. He talked about like that the absolute worst thing that you could do is create sheer drudgery. He used those two words, sheer drudgery, in your practice environment, in your meeting environment, and so that really kind of like that hit home for me, because I've been a part of programs that were winning a ton of games, and it was sheer drudgery in the building, and it was awful for everybody. Coaches, players, and it's awesome. Like everybody's sitting here like, well, that'd be nice, right? To have sheer drudgery and be 11-1, and it is, right? It is good because people keep their jobs. Players get big NIL deals, all that. But those programs break eventually. And, those cultures break. And so I think for me, it's been, what can we do to make this an enjoyable week with each other, for each other? And we're doing a lot of different things. Today we did a lot. there were a lot of competitive environments that we created. We had a penalty kick shootout. The highlight being really for me was, Emily Funky. She got a world-class stop on Colby Wolf, our nutritionist. Team went absolutely bananas. Of course, you could sit here and be like, "Hey, this team's 1-10. Why the heck would they have any fun? They should be running wind sprints." Listen, us running wind sprints isn't going to help us win games. I've lived that movie. I've seen it all. What we want to do is to make these last 5 days together the freaking most enjoyable 5 days we can, to give ourselves the most joy that we can on Saturday, and to make sure that all of us are putting it out on the line for these seniors.
Anything else for Coach? All right, thank you, Coach.
Appreciate you guys.
What's up, everyone? All right, questions for Tommy? Unless you have something to say. No, we can get into it.
So, Tommy, how has this coaching staff made this not sheer drudgery? And has it? I know you've talked a little bit, but even despite 1-10, you kind of enjoyed your time here. So, how has it not been sheer drudgery for you?
Yeah, it's a unique experience for everyone on the team. When it comes to the coaching staff, I think everyone on the team will say that this is my favorite coaching staff I've had. They make everything fun. The losing part sucks, but we got to go out there and focus on what we can control and do our job. So that's just what we keep trying to do.
Hey, Tommy, you still have some eligibility left, but where does football go from here? Do you go pro, or do you want to do another year maybe?
Yeah, I haven't come to any decisions yet. It's a big decision. I go out every football game knowing it could be my last, so that's just what I'm going to do again this week.
Tommy, obviously you've been a part of other programs before. How much has this experience, these 10 or so months that you've been here, been like a different family environment for you?
Yeah, I mean, every team is a family. Every family has its issues, and this team is no different, of course. But how close the players on this team are is insane. I was talking over it with Frank yesterday. How there's multiple guys on this team that will be in my wedding, and I've been here for 10 months. Like it's insane what we've gone through, how close we've gotten. I don't regret it whatsoever.
Tommy, your NIL deal has obviously gotten a lot of play online. Did you anticipate it might blow up like that, and how have you kind of responded to all that attention?
Well, when Shinesty called me, they said they were hoping it would hit Sports Illustrated. We wanted it on the cover of Sports Illustrated, so we were hoping for it to go big. It's been a blast. It's something fun that it's not a part of football. Just had a great time. There's a lot of people watching college football, so there's a lot of people seeing me in my underwear. It's about the same thing for me. So the people watching isn't any pressure I feel or anything like that.
Sorry, one on the field question. Sorry to put it back on the field, but Utah, one of their hallmarks has always been defense. What makes them so good, and why are they so good defensively all the time?
Yeah, well, they just are a physical, tough team. They go out there, they know what they want to do, and they execute their jobs. It's going to be a great challenge for the offensive line and the whole team, but we're excited for that challenge, and I can't wait to go out there with my brothers.
Hey, Tommy, you've barely been here a year or so, but what has CU meant to you in that time, not just on the field, but personally?
Yeah, Colorado's been great to me. Not just the university, but the whole state. And I'm very appreciative of the whole state and CU. It's funny because I was thinking, if nothing else, I've left the legacy of when Coach says something that I agree with, I say that's right in Southern terms, and I feel like everyone's picked it up on the team. So I'm happy about that. But when it comes to CU, I'm very appreciative for everyone here, and just happy that I've been able to do what I've done since I've gotten here.
So, Tommy, back to the NIL thing, since Coach brought it up. How have you dealt with being an international sex symbol?
Well, I always just thought of myself as an international sex symbol. I just had to let everyone know about it. So I'm thank God for Shinesty for letting me do that.
I appreciate you not wearing that stuff here, but
I have it on right now.
that's all we need to know. On the field question, though, this offensive line obviously has evolved throughout the season. You being a part of that, how much fun has it been to see this group kind of come together and play? I know this last week was kind of tough for everybody, but this offensive line evolved into a pretty solid unit.
Yeah, I as an offensive line, we took a lot of pride coming in and doing our job and just trying to improve no matter what was going on around us. So to see what we've been able to do throughout the season, it's been insane. I mean, it's incredible to see the growth of some of the guys, and I think it's a true testament to Coach Devan and all the other coaches. But when it comes down to it, it's good coaching and guys buying in.
How much petitioning has there been in offensive line group or, in the huddle when Frank's out there at 94 to get him a pass?
Every single meeting with, every time I see Coach Patterson or Coach Sanford, it's let's get Frank the ball. It's since the idea that got floated that Frank could be a tight end to Frank's playing tight end, or okay, well, let's get Frank the ball. So I knew Frank was going out on that route before the play, so I was blocking as hard as I can, and I was hoping it would have got to him, but there's another opportunity in another game, so hopefully it comes.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thanks, guys.